YouTube, hello, welcome to another tier list on the channel. Today we're going to be doing the Transformers movie tier list. So if you haven't seen it already, I have already done Transformers games on a tier list. I'll put like a little card in the corner so you can go check it out. But first, stay here. We'll do the movies and then you can go over and check the games. Trust me, it's a good one. It's a long one, but it's good. So, with the release of Transformers Rise of the Beast ever closing in to that June release date, we are going to be taking a look at a bit more to do with Transformers. We're going to be doing the movies. So, there have been a number of movies over the years. I think there has been about, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there have been 7 Transformers movies over the years, starting with 1985 or 86, one of the two years. So yeah, this is the movie that was based on the cartoon from the 80s. And if I'm not mistaken, this takes place like after the second season of Transformers. So you have Ultra Magnus. I think Ultra Magnus, this is the guy in the middle here of the poster. I believe this guy was introduced into the movie. I could be totally wrong because at the moment, thank you Base Hasbro YouTube channel for having the entirety of the old classic Transformers cartoons from start to finish. I'm currently watching those at the moment, so it's great. It's so good. It's very, very 80s. So, and also like the animation is just peak animation. Nothing wrong there. So yeah, this is the 1980s film, and yeah, and as you can see in the top of the poster here, this is Unicron. So Unicron, I believe, was also introduced into the movie. He is like the main bad guy of the movie because what he does, his gimmick, is that he goes and eats planets. That's his whole shtick. So, it's up to the Transformers, like, I think Autobots and Decepticons, or I could be wrong, because it's been quite some time since I've seen the film, and I think the whole film is on YouTube as well, so I need to go back and watch it. But, yeah, they're tasked to, destroy Unicron before Unicron destroys Cybertron. And this movie's very sad, by the way. There are some scenes I do remember from this film, and it's very, very sad. Case in point, I don't know if you can notice this on the poster, but do you see Optimus Prime anywhere? No? Cool. And I think, yeah, that's Rodimus, or Hotshot. What's his name in it? I think Rodimus, well, he becomes Rodimus, but at the beginning, I think his name was Hotshot, I think. And of course, he becomes a Prime at the end of the film, and then Rodimus becomes like the new leader going into the cartoon series. So if you haven't seen the movie and you go into like watching the cartoons again, you're going to be like mind blown and you're going to be like confused about what the hell you're seeing. So yeah, without further ado, I think I might actually have to put this in the S category. So as you can see, this is my my category list. I need to actually retype this actually, because I actually forgot to do that. My bad. Give me like 10 seconds. Technical difficulties. And we're back. So yeah, I just changed the S and the last category text. As you can see, it says now Prime. So that's like the S category. And then last night would be like the, not too good category, let's say. So moving on. Now we're going to do like a huge, massive time jump into 2007. So this is the 2007 film, the Michael Bay's first Transformers film. And this was actually pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Again, this is like all my own opinions and all that. So I would love to hear your tier lists in the comments below. Always appreciated as always. Yeah, so this is my my personal opinions, obviously. My tier list. Hello, this is my channel. But yeah, hey, welcome by the way. Yeah, so this is the Michael Bay first film, and yeah, released in 2007, and this was actually pretty good. So this is like its first, introduction into the series. So of course you got like the Transformers. You got Autobots and Decepticons. They crash land on Earth. A number of you know, a certain amount of time in the past, and then, you know, flash forward to present day at the time, 2007 being, you got Mr. Sam Witwicky himself, Mr. Shia LaBeouf himself. He comes of age where, you know, he's like a freshman, I think, something like that, and he can now own a car. And he just so happens, out of the whole lot of cars, he just so happens to pick Bumblebee, who was like a 1974 Camaro, which was peak car, by the way, peak car. And yeah, so then of course it all goes horribly wrong because Sam has like the location of a powerful artifact that the Decepticons want, called the Allspark. I think that's what it was called, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, the Decepticons go and track him down, and it's up to the Autobots to protect Sam and Megan Fox, by the way. Hello. And yeah, it's up to like the Autobots to try and protect them from the Decepticons and try their best to keep the Allspark from falling into Decepticon hands. So, of course, you've got Megatron over there on the right-hand side of the poster, voiced by Hugo Weaving, who did an amazing job as Megatron. And of course, you got Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, a legendary Peter Cullen, by the way, reprising his role as Optimus Prime. So yeah, this movie was pretty good for the time as well. It was like peak cinema as well. Everybody was excited to go see it because we finally got like a live action Transformers fair that, you know, was much needed for the time. But yeah, I think without further ado, I'm gonna have to put it in the A category. So it just misses the mark of being utter perfection for me. But yeah, it was pretty good, pretty good stuff. Yeah, so moving on, we got Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen that released in 2009, and this follows the events of the first film. And now there's like an ancient Decepticon enemy that's been living. I think that's been living in on Earth, I think, or he could still be on Cybertron. I actually don't remember because it's been quite a number of years since I've actually seen it. But yeah, his name is the Fallen. He's like he's a Decepticon like overleader, like he's the overseer of the Decepticons. He's like the big dude, boss man of the Decepticons, who Megatron actually reports to. So there's like another Decepticon that's above Megatron. So at the end of the 2007 film, spoiler alert for a 16-year-old film, by the way, you know, Megatron dies at the end of the first film. And then in the second film, at the beginning, the Decepticons finds the location that the humans dropped off Megatron's body in the ocean. They go and rescue Megatron's body, and then I believe with like a fragment of the Allspark, because again the Allspark was destroyed in the first game, in the first movie, and the Decepticons find like a fragment piece of like the Allspark that's still around. They get that fragment and they bring Megatron back to life. They resurrect Megatron for the film. But Megatron's design actually in the second film was a lot better. He looked like a much more like tankier, beefier Transformer. He looked actually quite sick in the movie. And yeah, so Megatron and the Decepticons capture Sam because they want revenge, obviously, because, you know, Sam being the dude, the dude, being the dude that he is. Of course, he killed Megatron by shoving the Allspark into Megatron's chest, and killed Megatron. So, of course, they want revenge, and then Optimus Prime comes and saves the day. Barely, though, because he dies as well. So, Optimus Prime dies in the film, and it's up to the rest of the Autobots and the humans to try and bring back Optimus, which they do. And then they have like a massive battle in Egypt. Devastator's in the movie as well. Devastator was a very cool design as well. You also had Skids and Mudflap as well. They were their stereotypical Transformers selves. I won't go into too much detail because I might get cancelled. But yeah, you had Skids and Mudflap. They were both Chevrolet cars. They were twins. You also had, I think you had RC in it. You had Sideswipe and Sideways in it. You had Bumblebee in it, of course. You had Ironhide. You had Ratchet. It was a good film. It was okay. But I think what I might need to do with this one, for instance, I might have to put it in like the B category, I would say, because it's okay. But like the thing is though, like this movie, it was okay. You had Jetfire in it as well. Jetfire was like this old, old-timey Transformer that was kind of like the old man. And then at the end, Jetfire would combine with Optimus Prime to give him wings as well. I mean, it was okay, but like it just misses the mark for me. It didn't have like the same sort of like the flair as the first movie did. So I'm gonna have to put it just below that. It's like an average film for me. But it was okay. It just misses the mark for me. So this is the third film. This is Transformers: Dark of the Moon. This released, if I'm not mistaken, oh my god, like 2011, 2012, something like that. And yeah, so this follows the events of the second film. But in this case, this one felt a bit more darker. No pun intended, by the way, for the Dark of the Moon segment. But yeah, this one felt a little bit more darker in tone as a film. So again, this has been quite some time since I've actually seen Dark of the Moon as well, and I haven't seen it like enough times as, let's say, Revenge of the Fallen and the first movie. But yeah, so this one, like I said, takes place after the second film, and Sam now goes out of college and into getting a job. So that means that Bumblebee is like, Sam doesn't want Bumblebee as his guardian anymore because he wants to be like on his own. He wants to, work on his own 2 feet. He wants to basically just live like a normal life. But once you've been with Transformers for like the past, I don't know, 5 years, why, that's not going to happen. So I'm trying to remember. There was Sentinel Prime in it as well. So Sentinel Prime was like the old timely Prime Transformer Autobot, by the way, for the time. He was found on like the moon, and Optimus Prime was like, oh, he's my friend. We're both Primes, we're both pals and all that. And it turns out that Sentinel Prime was a bad guy, and he launches a full scale like invasion because there was like all these Decepticon ships that were like submerged in the moon, and they've been waiting all this time on the moon for the right moment to strike. So Sentinel Prime and the other Decepticons launch a full-scale invasion on the planet of Earth, and yeah, it's up to the Autobots to stop them. Shockwave is in this as well. Shockwave had a really cool design. Megatron had a much better design as well. So if he didn't have like a much better design in the second film, Megatron, he now has a much better one where he's a truck, the same as Optimus Prime, but now he has like a cloth cloak that goes over his damaged face because he got damaged in the second film. And yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, it takes place in Chicago as well. Like the final scenes of the film takes place in Chicago, and that whole final battle was so good. Patrick Dempsey was in it as well, which was kind of cool. He was kind of sick as like the bad guy that had Soundwave as his car, as his guardian. It was pretty good. So I think without further ado, you can see where this is going. Oh god, do I put in A or Prime? Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Is it on the same level as the cartoon movie? I think it actually might be, in all fairness. It might actually be on the same level. I really, really did like Dark of the Moon. I really, really liked it. So yeah, well, I think without further ado, I'm going to have to put it in the Prime category because I really, really enjoyed it. Boom, there we go. Hell yeah. So yeah, it goes into the Prime category, my S category. But yes, I really liked it. I really digged it. Alright, so now this is where the Transformers films sort of go into obscurity, and it should have just been put to bed or just have like a full-on reboot for the series. So this is Transformers Age of Extinction. I don't remember when this movie came out. I want to say 2014 or 13, something like that. Yeah, this is the fourth film in the franchise, the fourth one. in the Michael Bay Transformerverse films. So this, in a way, is kind of like a reboot, but it's like a soft reboot. But it still continues the continuity of the other films. It's weird, this one. So your main dude, instead of Shia LaBeouf, you now have fucking what's his name? The hell's his name? Mark Wahlberg. That's it. That's his name. His name is Mark Wahlberg. See, I forgot like the main character's name. Oops. So you had Mark Wahlberg as like the main cheese in like this new continuity of films, who was a mechanic or like an inventor for the film. He stumbles upon like a beat-up truck that was like very reminiscent of like the 80s cartoon version of Optimus Prime, being like a semi-truck. He found the truck, and it turns out it was Optimus Prime. And it's up to like the Autobots to, you know, go into hiding, but also like protect the humans, and also stop the corporate humans from making their own Transformers. So they make their own Transformers, the corporate humans of the film. Something like Transformium, something like that. I'll probably put like a clip here of what it was, if I'm allowed. But yeah, so like they find, well, not they find, but they sort of like make Transformium, which is like their own version of like the tech that Transformers use to like transform, obviously. And they go ahead and make their own line of Transformers. Why? I don't remember. I think it was trying to hunt down the Autobots, I think. Something like that. And they go ahead and make Galvatron. So now this is where I start to be like, I don't agree with this at all. So the humans make Galvatron. Galvatron being like the evolution of Megatron, like in the cartoon film. So in the cartoon film, Megatron is like badly damaged, and then Starscream sort of like kicks out Megatron out of the ship when they're like retreating, and then Starscream becomes like the new leader for the time being in that film. And then Megatron gets picked up by Unicron. So Unicron creates Galvatron. He gives Megatron like a new body, and he gives him like a new army of Cyclonus, and I forgot the other dude. And they go ahead and sort of like reclaim Galvatron's throne of being like the leader of the Decepticons. So great, that's how Galvatron should have been. But in this case, we don't have Unicron yet, and the humans make Galvatron out of this Transformium and the remnants of Megatron's memory bank, because they somehow have Megatron's head. Cool, great. So you have now Galvatron as like the bad guy in this film, and you also have Lockdown as well. Lockdown is not an Autobot or a Decepticon. He's like a Transformer bounty hunter that sort of goes after Optimus Prime. He goes after Optimus Prime, I remember that, or he captures Optimus Prime. And it's up to, you know, the humans, the good humans, I should say, and the Autobots to go and save him. So, yeah, this one wasn't too bad. But it's, for me, this is when it starts to go off the rails a little bit, and it starts to really show that the series needed to end or just die. Or both. But yeah, I think without further ado, I'm going to have to put it into the C category. So this, for me, was below average for me. Oh my god. Moving on, by the way, we have Transformers Last Night. I don't remember when this film came out. I want to say, I don't know, 2017, 2018, something like that. Yeah, so this film was the fifth, and I want to say final entry into the Michael Bay Transformers universe. This, I've only seen it the one time, and I did not like this film at all. I really didn't like it. It showed that the film franchise needed to end for Transformers. It was losing its pace. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It sort of like got convoluted in its own story. It left on a cliffhanger, which I don't think will get resolved. I'm not too sure, but you know, it was bad. It was really bad. Like I said, I only seen it the once. So what from there? So from what I remember from this film, the Transformers are now public enemies of the planet of Earth. They're now public enemies, and the military are, you know, tasked with hunting down Autobots and Decepticons alike. But then the military call upon Decepticons that they've captured to go and bring in like the other Autobots. So they have Megatron in the film. I don't know how he became Galvatron to Megatron. I don't understand. I think it's because, like, with Galvatron having Megatron's memory bank somewhere in his mind, he was like, oh, now I'm Megatron again, and I have a Cybertronian jet plane mode now, and I'm Megatron again. I think that's what the deal was, but like I said, I've only seen it the once. And then it sort of goes into like the ancient history, medieval times of like, oh, the Transformers were here way before 2007, and they were here, you know, in the medieval ages. There were Transformers that can transform, like, can combine together to create a dragon with like 3 or 2 heads, something like that. And there's like this creator of the Transformers. I forgot her name. Yep, no, it's not coming to me what her name was. She's like the overall bad guy though, because she's very upset with Transformers and humans, and she wants to reshape Earth to become like the next Cybertron and stuff like that. And then Optimus Prime becomes evil, and he becomes Nemesis Prime in the whole film, and he almost kills Bumblebee in the film. But yeah, I mean, this film, and you had Anthony Hopkins in it, and you had, I think you had Hot Rod or Hot Shot in the film, and he had like a British accent. It was weird. It was strange. It was not good for me. I really, really didn't like this film. So I think, without further ado, I'm gonna have to put you down here. Oh yeah, let me just try and arrange these if I can. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna have to put you there in the only category that you should actually remain, and that's in the last night category. So you are complete crap. That film, complete crap. And of course that cliffhanger ending of like a human finding like remains of Unicron or something like that, or something Unicron related. Great, fantastic. Moving on. So now we come to the final film in this group of films. So this is Bumblebee. This is now a soft reboot, complete reboot, whatever, of the whole Transformers universe. And this, like I put in my my Transformers movie short, everything was lovely, once again, wonderful type of moment. So yeah, this is a complete redo. I think this takes place, if I'm not mistaken, in the 80s. Great time period, by the way, to put a Transformer in, of course. Yeah, so this takes place in the 80s. And the whole opening of the film, if we can have like a film that's just dedicated to Cybertron and the war on Cybertron, great, I'm all for it. And of course with the designs that the Transformers had in the opening, it was very reminiscent of their 80s cartoon selves, but it had like a more realistic mechanical look to them as well. So it was really, really well done. You could tell that the director of the film had much love and passion for the series, like growing up. You could tell throughout the entirety of this film. But yeah, like that opening section with like Cybertron and then like the Autobots trying to escape the Decepticons, and then trying to like launch pods and try and escape. Great. And then you had Bumblebee that sort of crash landed onto Earth, and he befriends a woman. I forgot her name, but she is Kate Bishop in like the MCU at the moment. I forgot her name in it. I think her name was like Casey. I think I could be mistaken there. But yeah, he befriends her and then protects her, and then she also protects him from the like the government and other humans and Decepticons. So she protects him as well. It's a very, very, very good film. You had John Cena in it as well. I mean, you can't see him, but you had John Cena in the film. Don't pay attention to this dude here. That's not John Cena. You can't see him, by the way. Yeah, and then Bumblebee actually transforms into a Beetle, into a Volkswagen Beetle, which, you know, he sort of transformed in the cartoon. So great. Very, very, very good. And then you had like the Decepticons that would come down, and I think his name was Blitzwing. I think that jet dude. That was a good fight. And oh yeah, so you also had like the reason why Bumblebee sort of like lost his voice as well. He lost it in like a battle in the movie. But yeah, this as like a reboot to the franchise, great. So I think without further ado, I'm gonna have to put this in the category that is up here, into the Prime category, because this is how it should have been, and this is probably how it should have started. Boom, there we go. Yeah, so I think that's my my list. That's 7 Transformers films. So yeah, it's a very short list, but of course there's only been like 7 films. You know, like live action and cartoon. I don't think I've missed any. If there's ones of like, I don't know, Beast Wars or Prime, I'm sorry, but like, to me, those are the films. But yeah, like that is my list. I'm very, very happy with that list. As you can see, like with the Michael Bay Transformers movies, they were like good, then they got okay, and then they got really good again, but then they got like really bad and then terrible. So you can kind of see like the progression and then the decline in quality for the Michael Bay universe, and it really needed to stop. So thankfully they created Bumblebee, which was a soft reboot to the franchise, and now they're sticking to that continuity now with Rise of the Beasts. So Rise of the Beasts from the trailers look absolutely freaking fantastic, and it's set in the 90s. But then of course you have, not only do you have like the Autobots and I assume the Decepticons, I don't know if they're in it, you also have like the Maximals and the Predacons, which were like from Beast Wars that were in the 90s. And I grew up with Beast Wars because I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with Beast Wars, so I remember Rhinox and Optimus Primal, Cheetor. Oh man, though, I can't wait to see those in live action, especially Optimus Primal. I'd love to see like the interaction between Primal and Prime. It's going to be so good, especially Cheetor, because Cheetor was actually my favorite Maximal in the cartoon for Beast Wars. He was my favorite, so I can't wait to see him in live action and see his you know, his Transformer like robot self. I can't wait to see it. And then of course, thankfully, we finally got like a live action Unicron. Finally, you know, we'll actually be able to see like Unicron in all of his glory that he should have been, from all the way from the 80s. So it's literally been like almost 40 years since we got like a Unicron. So I cannot wait to finally see him in live action and see how this movie goes. It might be an A or an S listing, but we'll see. But yeah, thank you again, guys, for so much for stopping by. Thank you for giving me like 10 seconds of your time. Always appreciated. If you liked what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, and also ring that bell to stay notified when I go live or when I post videos. And I'd love to hear your tier lists or your comments or your suggestions in the comment section below. Always appreciated and always love to hear it. But yes, guys, do you agree with my list? Do you not agree with my list? Let me know in the comments, as always. And yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. And as always, I'll see you in my next video or stream. Take care. Have a good one, guys. Adios.